Hey there. Thank you for joining me for day 39 of our On Purpose series. Today we're going to be talking about balancing your life. Throughout our 40-day journey, we have been talking about these 5 purposes. Jesus summarized the need for us to do these things in 2 ways: the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. First, Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart." You were planned for God's pleasure. Second, love your neighbor as yourself. You were shaped for serving. 3, go and make disciples. You were made for a mission. 4, baptize them. You were formed for God's family. And lastly, 5, teach them to do all things. You were created to become like Christ. Worship, ministry, evangelism, fellowship, and discipleship. We were made for these 5 purposes, and we were made to keep them in balance. It's easy to focus in on 1 or 2 of these that we really like, but we are called to live them all. Some ways that we can balance and keep these things and make sure that we are living them well is we can talk with another Christian or in a small group and keep each other accountable and say, hey, how are you doing? How am I doing in these things? You can honestly evaluate yourself and say, hey, how am I doing in this area? How am I doing in that area? You can journal, write down the things that you're experiencing in your spiritual journey with the Lord and be like, oh my goodness, here's how I'm growing in my evangelism. Here's how I'm growing in my fellowship. I think I need to work more on my service. And lastly, we can pass it on. In 2 Timothy, the Apostle Paul tells his young friend Timothy, now I want you to tell these things to followers who can be trusted to tell others. When we are pouring into other people's lives, the things that we are called to live start to happen more naturally. As we're sharing it, it's also beneficial to us as well. The question I have for you today is, what activity will I begin in order to stay on track and balance God's 5 purposes in my life? Take some time to think about that today and start a new habit to help you balance these 5 things. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 40. Bye-bye.